it's Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. Well, everybody, meet the mayor of Boston, Michelle Wu. Michelle Wu looks like a very harmless, attractive, serious-looking Asian woman, right? This is her family. Her husband looks like a very agreeable, liberal-looking white man, and they've got two seemingly happy children. So Michelle Wu seemingly has assimilated into Boston society. And when you beat Boston, you've beat the country. So congratulations to Michelle Wu. And I have to admit, when I see an Asian woman with a name like Michelle, I know that this is an Asian woman that's trying to fit in, because Michelle is not your ordinary Asian name. So, white name, white husband, white city, it doesn't get whiter than Boston. So her efforts to fit in have paid off. Now I hear y'all saying, so why are you talking about her? Well, I'm going to tell you. This is an article from the American Spectator, which is a very right-wing publication. New racist, it says up there in small letters. And then the headline, Michelle Wu, blasted for no whites allowed holiday party, has long history of radical racial activism. Now, not only are they accusing her of hosting a no whites allowed holiday party, being married to a white man, but now they're claiming she has a long history of radical racial activism. Now, this is most likely the offensive and hurt feelings of white people who feel like they've been left out of something, not included, even though they don't believe in inclusion. Now, let's see what this is all about. Boston Mayor Michelle Wu remains unapologetic for her decision to host a holiday party on Wednesday at which only electeds of color were welcome. Wow. She was unapologetic for hosting this party. And this is what she said. I am honored to be a part of this group, she told the media outside Parkland House, the city-owned building where the party was held. It is a long-standing affinity group that has grown in recent years here in Boston, Massachusetts. So she stood her ground. Wu's only admission of fault for the racially segregated party was for the fact that her aide, Denise Dos Santos, unintentionally invited white members of Boston's city council to the party before subsequently uninviting them on account of their race. It was one of those emails that we've all sent at one point or another, Wu said, smiling. So somebody invited the white members and then came back and uninvited them, which was tacky. Frank Baker, a member of city council who was excluded from the party because he is white, voiced his displeasure with Wu's party. I do find it divisive. But what are you going to do about it? You don't want me at the party? I'm not going to come to a party, Baker told WHDH. I don't know who that is. Must be a TV station or something. So what is he griping about? If he's not going to come, they don't want him there. Problem solved. Wu's failure to recognize the inherent problem with the holiday party that specially excludes people of a certain race is completely in line with how she usually conducts herself. She has long been a radical racial activist who employs the divisive framework that categorizes people as either oppressors or oppressed. Sounds about right to me. After the death of George Floyd, Wu, at the time a member of Boston City Council and a mayoral candidate, undertook a mission to demilitarize the city's police force in the name of racial justice. This involved taking away the police department's means of using force. On her mayoral campaign website, Wu stated, "It is all too clear that our city's public safety structures have not kept all of us safe, particularly our black residents. We must take concrete steps to dismantle racism in law enforcement by demilitarizing the police, banning weapons like tear gas and rubber bullets, and practices like no-knock warrants that endanger our residents of color." She later asserted, "We don't need that equipment. We need resources for community building and peace." Well, I don't see anything wrong with that. Sounds like she's got it about right to me. So it sounds like the white city council members want to do all of this stuff, like militarizing the police department, letting them spray tear gas and break up into people's houses without a warrant, like they did in Louisville with Breonna Taylor, and they don't want anybody to say anything about it, and so they don't understand why people don't want them at the Christmas party. So these white city council members have a whole lot of complaints against Michelle Wu. But let's get down to the real nitty-gritty of why they're complaining about her and trying to use this Christmas party to paint this negative picture of her, trying to make her look like some left-wing lunatic. Let's look at the real problem here. Let's focus on the third paragraph on this page. It says, as mayor, Wu created a task force on reparations. Now, are we in agreement? That's the problem right there. The big R word, reparations. The purpose of the task force is to provide recommendations to the mayor for reparative justice solutions for black residents. In announcing the task force, Wu said, "We are grateful to all those who refused to give up the fight for justice, who have understood and continue to push that there is no statute of limitations on addressing wrongs that we have the ability to make right." See, that's what they're mad about. In addition, Wu's No Whites Allowed holiday party is not the first time that she has been overtly dismissive of white people. Just this year, Wu joked, "I'm getting used to dealing with problems that are expensive, disruptive, and white." The remark related to the fact that she had been sued by Italian restaurant owners for requiring exorbitant fees for outdoor dining permits in Boston's North End, a predominantly white area, but not in regions of the city where the majority is non-white. So she's, making the folk pay who have the money. Focusing on the second paragraph, Wu's No Whites Party comes at a time of reckoning for the ideology of diversity, equity, and inclusion, especially in the greater Boston area. The president of Wu's alma mater, Harvard's Claudine Gay, has been subject to intense backlash over her refusal to definitely say that calling for genocide against the Jewish community would be against the university's rules. This has prompted an investigation of the school's racial ideology, which is rooted in critical race theory. Wu's happy endorsement of racial segregation shows her total devotion to Harvard's cause and the perniciousness that can emerge when a university espouses such an ideology. There's no word on whether Wu's husband, who is white, was allowed to come to the party. Well, no. Keep it, be consistent. No whites allowed means no whites allowed. No exceptions. As you would expect, Michelle Wu has received a lot of backlash for hosting this party. She hosted the party. And so, this is how she addressed it. Boston Mayor Wu addresses controversy around electeds of color holiday party invitation. Boston Mayor Michelle Wu said a mistake was made when an invitation to a holiday party meant for elected officials of color was sent to officials who do not fit that description and later rescinded. When asked about the controversy created by the invitation and its retraction, Wu explained she was selected to host an annual gathering for electeds of color from across the state. Wu is the first woman and first person of color elected mayor of Boston. I've been a part of a group that gathers representing elected officials of color across all different levels of government in Massachusetts, she said. A group that has been in place for more than a decade, and the opportunity to create a space for people to celebrate and rotate who hosts. So she's been a part of this group for a while. I think we've all been in a position at one point where an email went out and there was a mistake in the recipient, she said. Wu said the event for electeds of color will be held at the Parkman House, and that another holiday party for all elected officials and members of her cabinet will be held at the same location on a different day. So it sounds like Boston has a gangster Asian for a mayor. She didn't back down. She did not back down. If anything, she doubled down. She said they've been doing this for more than 10 years. This year was my turn to host, and the party's going on. Now this is a picture of Boston's city council. So it looks like about 5 or 6 coloreds, as they're calling it. So I'm assuming there are other people in the city government that were invited. But they wanted a space of their own, and they've been doing it for quite some time. So they got it like they want it. I'm assuming the white people didn't even know about this party because they're just now complaining. And only because somebody got an invitation to the party that wasn't supposed to get one. What I would like to know is who sent the email and what color was that person? That's where my curiosity is. Did someone intentionally send that email? So that's just a messy question. But this is a good looking group. It looks like 3 youthful black women on the Boston City Council. So that's pretty good because they're going to be outspoken. So it sounds like they've established a tradition where they can have a party and be comfortable to party like they want to party, eat the foods they want to eat, and do those line dances that black women like to do at parties. I'm just saying, I don't know. Boston has probably never seen anything like Michelle Wu. They were probably expecting one thing, a feminine, submissive Asian woman, easily controlled, and they got something quite different. So it's going to be interesting to see if she gets reelected. But anyway, y'all, let me know what you think about the video. Thank you for listening. Subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, share the video, and as always, have a great day.